Hey guys, what up? Luv XXX here for an album review today, and I will be reviewing Aerosmith's newest album that will be released tomorrow, November 6th, called Music from Another Dimension. I believe this is their 16th studio album, and it's off of Columbia Records. And as you know, Aerosmith's my favorite band. I've seen them once in 2010. They were great. And let's get started with this review. So there's 15 tracks on it. The track listing is Love x3, Oh Yeah, Beautiful, Tell Me, Out Go the Lights, Legendary Child, What Could Have Been Love, Street Jesus, Can't Stop Loving You, Love Her a Lot, We All Fall Down, Freedom Fighter, Closer Something, and Another Last Goodbye. So yeah. To start off, this was one of the most anticipated albums for me. I was so stoked to listen to it, but also kind of scared at the same time. You know, what would they sound like? Would they try to go mainstream? Would they try to stay to their roots? But I think they did a pretty good job. Overall, there's a lot of songs on this that any type of Aerosmith fan will enjoy. Whether they're an 80s Aerosmith fan, a 70s Aerosmith fan, more of like the love ballad stuff, like the 90s, or even some of the modern music as well. They kind of just added all those different decades and really to create this album right here. It really does even out with the number, and I think they're just trying to satisfy each and every fan. A lot of people that are die-hard old Aerosmith fans will most likely not give this album a chance to have a full listen on the record. And they probably won't even like it, sadly, which really upsets me. And me being a huge Aerosmith fan, I was really open-minded about this. And I personally love the album. You got tracks on here that sound like they would be from like Toys in the Attic, like the intro song Love x3. Totally remind me of that. You have a song like Tell Me that would be Out Go the Light. Then they have stuff that kind of sounds unique but still classic-y per se, I guess. Like Oh Yeah, which has really cool background harmonies in it. That gives it kind of that classic vibe. You have Legendary Child, one of the singles that really does sound like Aerosmith, which is I think why they had it become a single. You have What Could Have Been Love, which kind of sounds more like the 90s love ballads. And it was one of the singles as well, and they released a music video for it. You have Street Jesus, which to me is a perfect Aerosmith song, and kind of has a combination of originality in it, but yet old Aerosmith with it. I don't know, there's just something about that song, and it's really irresistible to me. Just some great songs on here. I think as a whole, you can definitely tell that the band still has that, maybe not that same sound as the old records, but they really sound a lot more united as a band. I think this is the one record where everybody really did their fair share of writing, playing, having a part in deciding what they want to do. This record's really perfect for what they're into now and what they would love to write for more modern music, even though it gives a kind of a totally different definition of what modern rock music really is. To me, it's like the classic songs still are unique and still have a modern twist to it. It's kind of hard to explain, but I really like it. And there's not one song on this I don't like, and it's probably one of my favorite albums, honestly, of 2012. Here's a band that, you know, just came back out of the blue and they hit you with a punch. I think this album's terrific with evening out, like, really the type of decade sounds, like I said before. Legendary Child's a great song if you are into old Aerosmith, as well as Love x3, Oh Yeah, definitely. There's really some really unique stuff, not really experimental, but very unique. Beautiful to me was a very unique song, as well as Something, which added organ, which they usually do not do. So it's really cool. Plus, Joe Perry actually does all the writing on 2 songs on this album. and they are called Freedom Fighter and Closer, and he does all the vocals on both songs as well. And those were actually one of my 2 favorite songs off the album, because I actually love Joe Perry's voice. You don't hear him a lot in Aerosmith doing like a lead vocal part, but this album he did 2 songs doing all the lead vocals, which is pretty outstanding. His voice is more deeper, bluesy, raw, very raw. It's definitely not that high rock voice you would hear from like Steve Tyler, but it definitely is. It gives you another dimension, I guess, of Aerosmith and what they sound like. But it's really good. Some of my favorites off the album are probably Beautiful, Oh Yeah, Legendary Child, Street Jesus, Love Her a Lot, We All Fall Down, Closer, and Something. But these songs are just great. They came out with 3 really big singles, which is, you know, Legendary Child, Love Her a Lot, and What Could Have Been Love. And I'd recommend for Aerosmith fans, or even people that are totally new to Aerosmith and this album, listen to Love Her a Lot if you have not on the radio. It's a great song that packs a real punch of energy with really fast-paced tempo vocals. It's just, I love it. It's one of my favorite songs. It was the first single, I believe, too, off of the album, and I can see why. It's definitely their best. But overall, I just thought this album, it worked really well together. They had their old producer, I cannot remember his name, who worked on all their old records like Toys in the Attic. I believe he worked on Draw the Line. He just worked on all their old records, and they really just made a record that I think would sound good to every decade of Aerosmith fans. Not a lot of people would like this album, but I think for a true Aerosmith fan, they gotta love this album. It still has Joe Perry's ripping guitar solos, really bluesy guitar riffs as well from Brad Whitford, the rhythm guitar player. Steven Tyler is still a terrific vocalist with some energy and some real rawness to his voice. And Joey Kramer, I actually think, is getting a lot better with his drums, and his fills are a lot more actually solid, I think, on this record. And Tom Hamilton's a terrific bass player who really does keep a song going, really, for the band, too. Each player in the band had their part on this record, and I can definitely tell just by listening to all 15 tracks. They're terrific. If you listen to any real hard rock music at all, rock music at all, or even classic rock music, you might really like this album. It was really good. It's not better than their excuse me, 80s or 70s stuff for sure, but it's a lot better than just Push Play. It's even a lot better than the 90s records too. So kudos to Aerosmith. They did a great job. Check out songs on this to check out: Legendary Child, Love Her a Lot, and Street Jesus. Download those tracks if you have to download any at all. So I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. I'm trying to keep it short. I could have said a lot more on this album, trust me. I'm trying to keep them to a minimum. So see you guys later.